Flosstube! It's Brittany. I'm excited to see you guys. I believe it's been about a month since the last video I posted, so it's about time, wouldn't you say? I even wanted to wait another week because I will have one of my whips finished and have given it away to my mom for her birthday. However, I'm not sure I'll be able to film a video before then because I'll be working and then my parents will be in town and I don't know that I'll have time. So I figured I'll make it now when I know I can do it and post it, and if I want to make a quick update video on it when I do get it done, then I can. That's no big deal. So since I last talked to you, I have a lot of finishes. Some of them are the same finishes you saw, but I made them into fully finished objects. So I have quite a few FFOs to show you. And when I say quite a few, that's 5, which I think is quite a few, sure. 3 of those are the 3 wedding gifts that I've been working on for the past 6 months or so. The first one is my Forever Love sampler. This one I had to finish for a wedding back in May, and this one kind of snuck up on me, to be honest. I just got a new job close to the beginning of May, and it took up a lot of time, and it's a long way away from where I live in New York. It's still in New York City, but it's quite a ways away, so I don't really have time to go to the Michaels in the morning, for example. To Michaels in the morning. So when I went to find a frame for this, I had to look locally. I found one frame which turned out to be the main frame of my Forever Love piece, and then I found the matting for this particular project in another frame and kind of cobbled the two together to get this. Now, I know the framing is not perfect. I unfortunately hate framing. I love the way it looks in the end, but I just get so bored and frustrated and annoyed, and I just am like, can this be over? So I kind of get to a certain point and say good enough. If the couple would like to reframe it, they're more than welcome to. I think it looks okay. So yeah, that's Forever Love finished. The second wedding gift was sent out for a wedding that actually happened this past weekend. I wasn't able to attend, but that is my Love is the Key design. Now this one I finished into a wall hanging, and may I say that I love finishing objects in this method so much more than framing. I love the classic and sleek look of a frame, and for someone who's not necessarily, I think, you know, wall hangings aren't everyone's aesthetic, but I think that this one turned out really nice. I had the perfect fabric to match the garnet thread that I used, and I think it turned out really nice. And then the last wedding gift is for a wedding this weekend, which I will be able to go to, so it has not been sent away. I have it right here. It's my Keeper of My Heart. It actually worked out really well. This is the frame that the matting of the other piece went with. So it turned out to be about the perfect size for my Keeper of My Heart pattern, or finish. And so there's Keeper of My Heart. Again, the framing is not perfect. It's good enough. If they'd like to put it in a different frame or get it framed and stretched professionally, they're more than welcome to. I guess I don't have the patience, which is so sad because I have the patience to stitch each of the individual stitches. When it comes to framing, I don't. When I have the means to get things framed professionally, you better believe that's what I'm going to do instead. So that's the 3 wedding gifts that I think I first told you about like back in February, all finished. How fantastic is that? It's so fun when you see goals like that finished and completed. You just feel so accomplished. The other 2, I guess 3 FFOs, the next 2 I'm going to show you, are the 2 Dragonite Pokemon stitches that I finished. These ones I started back in March and just put the finishing stitches into them now. They were actually almost completely done before Stitch Mania. Stitch Mania happened, and then I've been working on my Rainbow Row whip, and the other day I was wanting a break from Rainbow Row, and I said, you know what, I'm going to finish those up. And I had already bought the frames. So this is one of them. And this is the other. And just for fun, this is them together. I actually, these frames are from Michaels. They're the 5x5 size, and they are perfect for the first few generations of Pokemon. I believe the sprites had to all comply to the same like grid of pixels, so they're all about the same size. And so I got 6 of these frames for my friend that I'm making 6 Pokemon stitches for, and they all match, and so it'll be his 6 Pokemon on the wall or wherever he ends up wanting them to be. And I think it's going to look really nice, and they're a good weight, and they're just perfect for these projects. I'm so glad I found them. These ones were much easier to frame, I think, because they're so small than the other ones. And so I actually don't mind framing these ones too much. And the last FFO that I finished up this month was my Hope Owl. You saw the stitching complete in the last video, and here is the wall hanging complete. I sent the picture to my friend who had requested this stitch, and she said she liked the green. I picked out a few fabrics and put them around, and she liked the green. I thought the green looked really nice too. She also mentioned she liked the a yellow fabric I had. So I made the little tabs out of yellow. And she loved it, and that is sent out to her, and I hope that she enjoys it in the future. On to my whips. The first whip I'm going to show you is my Storytime sampler. I finished up Maze Block, Charlotte's Web. I actually took this on the train, lost my week's dye work, Cattail had to order a new one from 123 Stitch, and so it turns out I finished this in June instead of in May. But that's okay. The next one, as most people know, is Peter Pan, and I don't know that I'll get that one done in June either. So we'll see, but here's Charlotte's Web. I think it's really cute. I still like the barn, and the little sheep are adorable. And that's my story time. I may or may not get Peter Pan done. Depends on how Rainbow Row goes. Speaking of Rainbow Row, I'm so close to finishing this, it's not even funny. I have to finish up this last house over here and add one more house over here. So I have about 1 1/3 homes to finish up. So here are all the houses together, hopefully. And what I'm going to try and do is give you guys more of a close-up, because there's so many cute details on these houses that I'd like you to see. Hopefully that's working. If not, it'll be really lame. It's been really fun. I've been finishing each of these houses as like its own finish before moving on to the next one, even if they share colors. So it's been fun to watch the little row of homes grow. And this is the present that is for my mother. She's coming into town this weekend. Her birthday is the 30th. So I should have it done by this weekend. I'm pretty sure that I can make that happen. And I'm excited to give it to her. I hope she likes it. So my next whip is actually a new start as well. I was browsing through the internet and looking at certain cross-stitch patterns and looking them up on Google to see what they were based on, and eventually had found this painting that I fell in love with. I looked on all of the websites I knew of for a cross-stitch pattern of it. Couldn't find it. I looked for even just a print that I could buy and hang on my wall, and I couldn't find it. And so I decided, with a little bit of hesitation, that I wanted to make a pattern of it on Pick to Pat. This particular painting is very old. It is by an artist called Theo van Rysselberg, or von Rysselberg, I'm not sure how to say it. But it's called After the Bath, and I just wanted it so badly and couldn't find any other way to make it. So hopefully it doesn't offend you that I've done this. I'm excited to work on it, and I hope that you guys will be excited to watch it too. I also hope no one is offended because it's a painting of a naked lady, so if that offends your sensibilities, cover your eyes now. This is the pattern. As you can tell, like, just looking at my room, the colors in it are perfect, and for whatever reason it captured me, and I thought, I have to have this. I have never, ever seen a heaven and earth design or other full coverage design that I have wanted to stitch. I've always kind of thought, oh, to put that much effort into a piece and have people just assume that it's a painting or assume that it's a print. You know, I want people to look at my work and like appreciate that, oh, wow, that's a cross stitch. A lot of effort was put into it instead of just like walking by it. But I saw this and I was like, I'm gonna do it. I was so surprised because I could have sworn I would never, ever do a project like this. But I started. I put in an order for a huge piece of 25 count Lugana and have started stitching this beautiful redhead. And here she is. It's just the top corner. As you can see, I also am using the parking method, which is my first time parking, and I must say, so far it's going very well. There are about 4 very similar shades of gold that I have used so far. A couple darker shades, a couple of lighter, more creamy, taupey shades. But I think it's going really well so far. I don't mind the tiny stitches, and I don't mind the parking. I'm excited actually to get to work on it some more. I just have been focusing so much on Rainbow Row and getting it finished. But this sucked up like a good week or so because I bought it and I was so excited to start it. And I think it's actually progressing pretty quickly. I'm excited to get to work on it again. As I mentioned before, I had to place an order to 123 Stitch to get my Weeks Dye Works cattail when I lost it on the train. I also had to put in an order to 123 Stitch for my fabric for the After the Bath project. And of course, I couldn't just order one thing and pay like $3 shipping on one thing of floss or just a piece of fabric. So each time I went to my wish list and added in a pattern. So I have 2 patterns to show you. It's a very small amount of stash, but I'll show it to you anyway. The first one is a Country Cottage Needleworks pattern. It's called In the Meadow, and it's a really cute snowman with these beautiful snowflakes in the background. It says, "In the meadow we can build a snowman." I have a grandmother who has a birthday close to Christmas in November, and she has a gigantic snowman collection. And when I was living in Illinois earlier this year, I was telling her about my cross-stitch projects, and she told me that she had seen a cross-stitch that a lady had made of a snowman that was so beautiful and had even the snowflakes stitched and stuff. So ever since then I've been looking for a good pattern to make for her, and I think that that's the one I'm going to do. I think it's really cute. And then the other one that I've been wanting for a while is a pattern by Told in a Garden by Marilyn Levitt Emblem, and it's called Bird in Hand. I already know someone else on Flosstube is doing this, and I wish I could remember who, but unfortunately I can't quite remember who it is. But this is called Bird in Hand, as you can see, it's an Amish themed pattern. And what's really special about this pattern is that I lived in Bird in Hand for about 2 years and heard the Amish buggies clopping by the house I was staying at while I was sleeping in the morning. And even across the street from the restaurant, the family that owns it, their original homestead, they're originally Amish, they're not Amish now, but the original homestead looks a lot like these white buildings. So I'm really excited to have this as kind of a memory of my time in Bird in Hand. It's a theater that I can always go back and work at, I feel like, depending on the show, if there's a good part for me or if they want to cast me, I guess. And so what would be really fun would be to live in Bird in Hand and to be able to stitch this. So right now it's just going to go into my stash. I don't have any particular plans for it. I'm just excited to do it. Something that I guess I will show you before I go that goes along with my big full coverage painting project is that I did kit up a floss box for it. And I got bobbins, real bobbins, not my homemade Fruit Loop box bobbins, and put them in order. So here are all of my threads for after the bath. And when I say all of my threads, I mean one of each color. There's an entire bag of the duplicate skeins. And then when I run out of thread on one skein, I'll find the duplicate and add it on. But it was kind of fun to get everything kitted up while I was waiting for the fabric, and I just was really excited about this project. I'm sure each of you knows you get a pattern and you just have to start it, and that was what that after the bath was for me. And so I'll be excited to get started on it again. I know I promised to introduce you to my fish, and I will do that, but I think I'm going to wait until next video because I've been ill recently and my voice is kind of getting tired, as well as the fact that I'm going to stitch Rainbow Row, and I'm really hoping I get it done tonight. We'll see. I still have some time. I have to edit this video and get it uploading to YouTube, but I think I'm going to try and finish it. We'll see. I hope everyone is doing well, and I hope that everyone's stitching is going well, and here's my wish to you. A lot like this after the bath pattern, I hope that each of you is either working on right now or finds a pattern that they just have to do and that they are so excited about starting that I was, because it was just a pleasure. Every part of it was a pleasure. Picking out the threads at Michael's and bobbinating them even was just exciting because I was so excited to start on this. So I hope that you guys find your after the bath. And until next time, happy stitching. Bye!